Coming up on TechZilla, the newest, scariest Windows hack ever, VHS to digital video file, because DVDs are so last decade. Speeding up Windows, PuppyLinux, and a couple of viewer questions to boot. Do me a favor, somebody get makeup out here, Veronica, covered in Cheeto dust. And TechZilla starts now. This episode of TechZilla is made possible by GoToAssist, Express, Netflix, and Squarespace. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont.
Welcome to TechZilla, hands-on reviews of the latest tech and how to make the most out of the gear you've already got.
Whether you're a beginner or tech support for your friends and family, if you've got a question about tech or the closest source of beignets to the Revision 3 studios, we've got a delicious, delicious answer for you.
And fattening, too. And if we don't, we'll track down someone who does and beat the beignets out of them.
Yes.
Actually, I would never beat beignets out of anyone.
Beat the beignet out of someone.
We should point out one of our local cafes,
delicious.
Just For You, owned by one woman from Louisiana, and in celebration of the Saints win in the Super Bowl, I understand they won the Super Bowl, she was actually giving away a free beignet and a cup of coffee to everybody.
It was excellent.
Yes, it was.
I brought mine back to the office with me and I actually gave it to Grace because someone else had also brought in donuts this morning. So in my quest to not balloon like a maniac, I decided to just limit to the donuts and skip the beignet. Although it was free, so I'm kind of sad. So anyway, total shock today. Lots of people emailed Patrick to tell him his antivirus spyware malware picks sucked.
Oh,
they sucked. God, Patrick. And of course, that you should be recommending their favorite tool.
What a shock. Look, I just gave my picks. A lot of people emailed about Avast free antivirus. It's nice. It just feels slow to me, and according to some reviews, it doesn't do the best job removing spyware. It does a pretty good job, but occasionally leaves stuff behind that it says it's removed. On a more serious note, whether it's Avast, Panda, or any other antivirus, especially the free ones, go directly to the manufacturer's page or to a good download site like downloads.com to get your copy. Because pirates, being evil black hat hackers, might actually create a free antivirus, or worse yet, a copy of a legitimate free antivirus that actually installs nefarious, nasty Trojans and worms and backdoors in your system. And there's nothing more heartbreaking than realizing that you installed the Trojan on your system.
That's pretty sneaky. I've always wondered if
that's a
hackers and
Trojan.
crackers were doing that. And I can only imagine that the best way to keep that from happening is using something like download.com, something that really vets out all the software that they post on the site.
It's also not unusual if you're downloading a very expensive piece of software from a torrent site and it's a cracked version of the software, there's a chance that somebody cracked some special goodness inside of that. So good luck with that. Run a good antivirus.
All right. Well, to our first question, Adam writes in with what I can only assume is a rather panicked note in his voice. New unknown Windows hack.
That was the subject.
Dear TechZilla, as a casual PC user, I was worried when a friend of mine told me he could break into my PC with a thumb drive. This was because he had installed a distro of Linux called PuppyLinux. He showed me their site and I found that the entire OS runs from RAM.
Oh my goodness!
When he had installed it onto his flash drive, it allowed him to boot from it and access all my files without any passwords required. Is there any way to stop this from happening? Adam in Scotland. Well, as a matter of fact, Adam, there is a way you can prevent that jerk from accessing all your files. Turn off boot from USB drive in the BIOS of your PC. And while you're there, turn off booting from the CD-ROM drive as well. And turn on password protection for your BIOS settings so she or he doesn't turn around and turn them on before installing more weird stuff back on your system.
Yeah, and I should point out, this is the dreaded PuppyLinux.
How can something be so dreaded called something so adorable?
Look, Adam, if you're feeling seriously paranoid, you can get all super secure like you're a bank or a government facility and epoxy over all the USB ports on your PC. Then you'll need to secure the machine inside your room. A chain will do nicely. Make sure the room itself is secured with a good lock, bars on the windows, perhaps an armed patrol every... the armed patrol timing has to be set by the amount of minutes it averages a talented locksmith to basically break into the lock on the room, because physical access to the data makes it much easier to steal. All they have to do is clone your hard drive and take it home.
He's only kidding a little bit, Adam. There.
Yeah, look, the painful thing, Adam, is physical attacks on your computer have been around for a while. They're just new to you. Booting off of a USB or CD-ROM drive only counts as a hack because it let your friend browse your files. You didn't expect it. A lot of operating systems run basically inside of RAM. Lots of versions of Linux have live CDs. That's exactly how Windows installs itself on your machine. It boots off a CD-ROM, it goes into RAM, starts writing stuff to the hard drive. The nice world use for PuppyLinux is that it's a fast, easy-to-use Linux distro that can cache itself in RAM. That makes it pretty fast in older systems. The live CD format means you don't have to install it on your drive to check it out, and it boots from the medium it's installed on, whether it's a CD-ROM drive or a USB drive, which is why we mentioned basically turning off everything other than your main hard drive for booting your system. That makes it great for saving files off a damaged drive for one thing, or repair your Windows install, or steal stuff from office workers, dorm roomies, obnoxious sisters, parents, etc. And it's as easy as turning on the machine with a USB drive or CD-ROM drive installed. The whole epoxy and the USB ports, securing the facility, your bedroom, all that, it is a bit over the top, but all they have to do is attach your hard drive to a USB enclosure or adapter, and then they can just copy everything off of your hard drive.
Yeah, so turn off the ability to boot from USB or CD-ROM from within your BIOS and password secure it, and then make sure that Weasel, your buddy, never ever gets inside your machine. Or, you could get TrueCrypt on and encrypt the whole drive.
Yeah, if your buddy can hack into an encrypted drive, I'm pretty sure he or she has a job waiting at MI5. I think that's the UK equivalent to the NSA, right?
I don't know.
I have to check that out. Quick, to the Wikipedia!
All right. While we've got your attention, being the tech support for your friends and families can be a thankless job, and if you have to do it remotely over the phone, it can get so much worse. Which is why I'm glad there's a service like our sponsor, GoToAssist Express. GoToAssist Express can make the process painless for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're on a PC and the person you're helping is on a Mac, or vice versa. No matter what, you'll be able to share their screen, transfer files back and forth, and fix whatever needs fixing, all from the comfort of your own home. No complicated installs, no weird setups, no hassle. Now, I've been using it myself for a few months now, and it has made those tech help sessions about 1,000,000 times easier. Instead of writing out emails trying to explain what to do, or sitting there forever on the phone describing things, I can just send them an email or IM invite with my GoToAssist link, and I'm in. I can make all my fixes to their computer, and they can get the benefit of seeing exactly what I'm doing. So maybe next time they can take care of the problem themselves. Of course, if you're still not convinced, you can try out GoToAssist Express free for 30 days. 30 days to see how much easier it can be to help friends and family with their computer issues using GoToAssist Express. Just visit GoToAssistExpress.com/Texilla to start your free 30-day trial. And remember, by supporting our sponsors, you're helping to support Texilla.
Welcome to this week's Freebie Download Pick, a free program that we find useful, fun, or incredibly interesting. This week, MPEG Stream Clip. If you edit video for work or just as a hobby, you probably run across an MPEG video that just isn't compatible with your video editing application. The obvious step is to convert those videos into something more friendly, but what to use? Try out MPEG Stream Clip. This bare-bones tool lets you convert and demux most any QuickTime DV, AVI, or MPEG 1, 2, or 4 format and output them as a QuickTime DV, AVI, or MPEG 4. You can even throw in a post-processing feature like resizing, deinterlacing, or a field dominance converter, and you definitely have a video editor's best friend. The only thing not included is the MPEG 2 plugin, which will set you back $20 if you don't have an MPEG 2 encoder and decoder already installed in QuickTime. Whether you're a hobbyist or video pro, you should definitely put MPEG Stream Clip in your video editor's toolbox.
Ben writes, can you suggest a way to convert VHS tapes to DVDs? Our childhood memories are on VHS, but I'm afraid that the tape will deteriorate. I don't have a VHS player anymore since they all broke, and I can't justify buying a new one, no matter how cheap. I feel you there. Could you guys do a comparison between some DIY products I could buy and some services I could pay for? Thanks, Ben O. in Belmont, Mass.
First off, your VHS tapes are definitely deteriorating, Ben. How badly depends on where they're stored, how old they are, and how many times they've already been viewed.
Oh, I have a whole box of them that my mom has been on my butt to try to digitize for the past 4 years, and I've been putting it off and putting it off. They're in a box though. They're closed in a box in the office.
Okay, that's not so bad.
They're not in direct sunlight or anything.
This is good. Yeah, first off, the more views, the more oxide wears off the tape, the more worn out it gets. Uninsulated attic, where it gets hot, then cold, then hot, then cold, then hot, then cold, are the worst.
Okay.
Maybe the second worst. The worst would be the dashboard of your car in Arizona when it hits 120 degrees.
That's good.
And you come out and the tape's bent in a U shape. You can basically pull these little reels out and reset them on another tape.
I'm so nervous. I gotta go check and make sure they're okay. But anyway,
you should.
If you're not willing to buy a VHS VCR, you need to borrow one if you want to do this yourself. No VCR means no source video to digitize on your computer. Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah.
You gotta get them somehow.
Sorry, but beg, borrow, liberate, whatever you have to do. The VCR actually might be the cheapest part of this. They sell for $50 now. And I gotta say, you're also gonna get a video capture device. Our current fave remains the Hauppauge HD PVR. It's not cheap. costs around 180 bucks. That's because it does excellent HD and SD capture, and inside the box, it does conversion to H.264 video at up to 1080i.
Nice.
Now, it's not going to turn your VHS tape into 1080i video. It doesn't do that. It captures at the native, basically, whatever file size is running into this, it spits out an H.264 version on your computer.
So it'll look about as good as it would originally. Like, it's not going to deteriorate it. It's not going to up-convert it, but it's still going to look about the same.
It's going to look like
depending on how
a
old it is.
720 by 480 video capture of those soft details and those gentle colors, because you forget what a VHS tape looks like until you pop one in and you go, wow, that's just awful compared to DVD. Nice thing about this, though, we use it all the time to capture component video off of stuff that doesn't want to let us capture it over the HDMI port, but it has S-video and composite jacks up front for SD. A little cheaper, around 50 bucks. Roxio's Easy VHS to DVD is available both Mac and PC versions. It's dedicated to SD video. And it's available pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, one thing you want to make sure you do, though, is clean the heads on your deck before you start doing the digitizing. Like, make sure that the VCR rather, is nice and clean, so you don't get any kind of, elements or effects hanging out on the tape when you're trying to digitize it.
Or of considerably worse that you don't find, because the worst thing is like somebody gives you their jank old VCR, or you buy one from Goodwill, you throw the priceless memory of grandma on there, and you hear that telltale noise of tape being ripped off the reel and chewed into the drive.
Awesome. Yeah, you can do it. You can clean the head simply by either getting one of those cleaning tapes or with Q-tips and 90% rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, to do that, basically pop the top off, clean the heads, and while you're in there, clean the rollers and the other stuff inside.
I used to have to do that for when we would actually edit audio the old school way. We had to use the
reel-to-reel tapes.
Yeah,
big
and
fat
X-Acto knives to cut the. It was cool.
The last facility making 1-inch reel-to-reel tape in the United States finally shut down a couple years ago.
Oh, that's so sad.
That's exactly what I thought.
Off track, different thing.
Anyhow, tracking, actually, that's good. Check the tracking also. That's the weird, another, like, if you don't remember the VCR days, where you basically align the head on the tape so the image looks proper. Cue up the tape around 10 seconds before the section you want to capture, start your capture program, and then hit play on the VCR. If you don't like the bundled software that comes with your capture device, just run Windows Movie Maker or iMovie and capture into that. And when you're done, hit the stop button. You've got a digital video file. You can save it as is, burn it to a DVD if you want to go old school, post it up on YouTube. You get the idea.
Now, if you can't find a VCR to liberate, you'll want to use a professional service. The 900-pound gorilla of VHS tape conversion to DVD is Yes Video. They provide the service for the photo departments at retailers like Costco, Walmart, Walgreens, Ritz, and Wolf Camera, CVS, you name it, they do it. You drop your VHS High 8, Mini DV, 8mm, or Betamax tapes, or 8mm Super 8 or 16mm film for that matter. They capture, digitize, and drop it on a DVD with, basic menus and chapters. And around 3 weeks later, they send it back to you with all your original tapes, and they even repair damaged tape cases if necessary. Which is nice.
Yeah.
That's nice of them.
If you have sort of I think it's
Hopefully
mostly
it's
so
still
they don't
playable.
Damage their machine.
Yeah, while they do clean and enhance film and the transfer process, videotape is pretty much what you see on your TV screen dropped onto a DVD. If your tape already has dropouts or dead spots, flicker, etc., that's what you're going to get, unfortunately, unless those problems are because your VCR is trashed, in which case cleaning would probably help that.
Yes, that is, if cleaning doesn't help it, your VCR is done, find another one.
It's like, at this point, you can just find one. I bet you could find one at like a Goodwill
I actually
or Salvation Army.
I had some old live cassette recordings that I needed to digitize. I found a really nice NAD cassette deck for 20 bucks in my local Goodwill.
Nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
nice and not heavily used. Now, if the idea of dropping off the last videotape of Grandpa with the local super drugstore staff freaks you out a little bit, and depending on your local drugstore, I can understand why it might, there are local options. Most cities have some type of video production shop that can capture the files for you. Finding them might be a little difficult. Get your Yellow Pages on, check Craigslist. You might also check your local cable public access studio or your library for a recommendation. Prices, by the way, are going to vary both across the resellers of the Yes Video services and your local shops, especially at your local shops.
I know, I was a little bit nervous myself with dropping them off at the Walgreens to get it done, so I think I'm just going to have to borrow this little setup you've put together here. Do it myself.
It works. Are you looking for a better way to build and host a website, maybe upgrade a site you already have? You should give Squarespace.com a try. Don't take my word for it, take my wife's. Unlike me, she's actually an accomplished developer. So when she says it's a pretty slick and powerful tool for generating sites from simple to complex, it means a lot more than me going, hey, it's so easy. Even a moron like me can build a website. And Squarespace isn't just a tool for building sites, it's hosting as well. They offer easy tools for importing your existing site or building a site from scratch. Now, for a sad little web nugget like me, my HTML coding has not progressed since 1995. It's nice because you can drag and drop the elements on the page to change things up while Squarespace deals with the code under the hood. Seriously, if you can pick a template, colors, fonts, and tweak your layout a little bit by dragging a cursor, you can build a pretty nice website. And if, like the missus, you actually have skills, the sky's the limit. No credit cards required for the free trial, but if you do decide to stay with Squarespace after the free trial, do me a favor, use the code TechZilla. They'll give you a 10% discount for life, and we get a special Keep Coming to Work biscuit from our CEO. Seriously, support TechZilla, try out our sponsors like Squarespace, and remember to use that TechZilla code if you decide to purchase their service.
Looks like it's time for another website we just can't get enough of. A website that we just can't stay away from because it's too useful, too funny, or just too darn irresistible. This week's pick, Ubulu. Everyone knows the Kevin Bacon 6 degrees of separation game, the one where you try to figure out how many degrees of separation someone is from the Baconator. Thanks to the site Ubulu, you'll never have to guess again. Using advanced algorithms, okay, well, I actually have no idea how they do it, they'll match up a huge list of actors to tell you how many degrees they are apart based on movies they've been in. Sometimes it's several. William Shatner was in Miss Congeniality with Sandra Bullock, who was in The Vanishing with Kiefer Sutherland, who was in The Flatliners with Kevin Bacon. But other times there are some pretty surprising close connections, like between Tom Cruise and Lindsay Lohan. Weird. Of course, you don't always have to use Kevin Bacon as your reference, but if you've ever wanted to definitively test the Bacon theory, Ubulu is your best shot.
Robert's got a rather practical question, and one that can actually save you a lot of pain and suffering. He says, I just watched your episode Windows 7 Super Guide that mentioned the program Windirstadt. I like to say it that way. After downloading and running it, I found that the biggest file usage, 4 gigabytes, was from the page filing under pagefile.sys. There seems to be a lot of disputes on the internet as to disabling letting Windows manage or setting a 1-to-1 ratio of page file to actual RAM. What are your recommendations? Robert C.
All right, Robbie boy, just leave the page file alone. Pagefile.sys is the file that Windows uses for virtual memory. When Windows requires more memory for apps and you have physical RAM for it, it uses the page file. It's slower than physical RAM, but it can hold a lot more. With RAM being so cheap these days, many people have systems running with 4, 6, 8, or even 12 gigabytes of RAM. And if you've got 12 gigabytes of RAM, why on earth would you ever need virtual RAM? You save space and Windows won't use the slower hard drive as a substitute, right?
Now, of course, like 12 gigabytes, it's only going to work with a 64-bit operating system like Windows 7. And this argument goes way... People have been trying to figure out how to eliminate the page file forever. I want it 0. I want it all in RAM. I'm going to run it on a RAM disk. I'm going to put it on the moon.
I know. I was going back and looking at entries from 2004 about the same problem. Further back, it's been around forever.
Yeah.
But the thing is, for most situations, there's no real measurable performance benefit in doing so in the contemporary operating systems. Windows is smart enough to use it dynamically. Windows won't use virtual memory unless it needs to, and when it does, it shrinks or expands the page file as needed. 5 or 6 years back, one of the performance tweaks you made to Windows was to set the minimum and maximum page file sizes to the exact same size, usually 1.5 times the size of the physical RAM you had installed. The thinking was that you were saving Windows the chore of dynamically expanding or shrinking the page file, thereby saving time. Now remember, this is when we were all running Windows 98 and Pentium 2 PCs. If you're really curious to manually change the size of the file, you would go to the Advanced System Settings in Windows 7. Under Performance, select Settings, then Advanced, and then head to the Virtual Memory section and select Change. But these days, it's not really all that useful, and in certain cases, you could affect system performance in a bad way. The general rule of thumb is to leave it alone.
That's what she said.
Leave it alone. If you're squabbling over 8 gigabytes of hard disk real estate, which is, by the way, the size of a typical finished TechZilla episode before it gets encoded, you've got other issues than the page file eating space.
Space. The
Rule of
final
thumb.
frontier. Yeah. Just leave it alone.
Just leave it alone.
12 million members. That makes Netflix the world's largest subscription service for streaming movies and TV episodes and sending DVDs by mail. And yes, I am a subscriber. It's easy. $8.99 a month. You get unlimited TV episodes and movies streamed to your TV, your computer, or your Xbox 360, your PS3, and coming this spring, finally, the Nintendo Wii. That makes it pretty much universal for getting movies onto the TV in the living room. Now, of course, you still get unlimited DVDs delivered quickly to your homes. You watch the movie, you put it in the package, you send it back, they send you another one. It's fast. Now, you want to try it out? As a new member and a TechZilla viewer, we can hook you up with a 2-week free trial membership. Go to netflix.com/TechZilla and sign up now. And do me a favor, use that URL, netflix.com/TechZilla, so that we know that we sent you and we get paid.
Kelly writes in, hey guys! I currently have a 5th generation iPod video. It works just fine, and being 80 gigabytes, it holds all my music and then some. Being the tech chaser that I am, I would like to upgrade it to an iPod Touch. Should I wait for the iPad release in April and hope it will bring down the price of the iPod Touch? Or do you think it would be a wiser decision to wait for the 4th gen iPod Touch to be released in September? When is the right time to take the plunge? Thanks for the advice. Love the show. Kelly in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Luckily for you, Mac Rumors has a handy-dandy chart that gives you all the info on when it's a good time to buy a new Apple product. Of course, none of that is definite, but when it comes to guessing when things are going to be announced, Mac Rumors is generally at the top of the pack in terms of track record. The time-ordered guide is the place to check, and it looks like, according to their calculations, it should be a good bet that they won't update it again for a while now. So buy the Touch with relative safety of not having them release a new one a month later. And I'm actually glad I checked this because, as you know, I've been looking to buy a new MacBook Pro, and I was like, oh, well, hopefully they'll...
a new MacBook Pro, I think, would be more adequate.
Lusting, I guess. Well, I need a new day-to-day computer.
Want.
And I thought they were going to upgrade it when they did the whole iPad announcement.
Right. You figure 90 minutes, they might have done a second project.
I know, just like a one more thing. I mean, it's not really that exciting to be the one more thing. But anyway, I was looking forward to it. They said something is coming soon, so now is not a good time to buy that MacBook Pro. Woohoo!
Oh, speaking of the iPad, I wonder if you'll have to buy, I've actually been thinking about this. Are you going to have to buy all your iPhone applications over again to run them on the iPad? Or will you, do you have an iPad or an iPhone and an iPhone?
No,
like
I don't
iPod
think you
Touch?
will. I think it'll be, if it's on the same account, it should be fine.
I was wondering, like, oh.
Because that would be really lame.
Yeah, I was having like paranoid thoughts.
No,
about
you'll
that.
be fine.
No.
If they did that, even for Apple, that would be like, come on, you guys. Like, just come on.
Maybe they would do it for the developers. Imagine the poor, starving iPhone developers going, please, will you purchase another application license?
I see what you mean.
The children,
Right.
I have to feed my children.
Our final question comes from Luke in Moore, Oklahoma. Hey, Patrick and Veronica. I'm in the market for a few new tech toys, a TV, a Blu-ray player, remote, and a laptop. I see a lot of awesome deals coming out on refurbished items. Are they a safe bet to get? Would I be taking a big risk to save a little cash? What has been your experiences with refurbished tech gear? Thanks, Luke in Moore, Oklahoma. Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain,
Bringing Cheetos.
and the waving wheat can sure smell
really do
sweet
know all the
when
words
the
to that.
wind comes right behind the rain.
You really know all the words?
Yeah, I do.
That's
Go ahead.
impressive.
Sorry, answer the question.
Anyhow, Luke, our musical theater interlude aside, I buy refurbished gear pretty much, well, just all the time, actually. If there's a good price savings, and I think the product has been well treated. And I should say that refurbished usually means it's gone back to the manufacturer, they've verified that everything works well, they put all the stuff back in the box, and then they send it to you or sell it to you. And then there's like open box resales and stuff that's basically poorly used gears that they're selling in a local store. Best Buy often resells open box gear, might be a return, might have been on display. It's often almost as expensive as it was when it was new. And a lot of times it's really beat up, especially if it was display model. You'll find like knobs are missing or people have poked at the screens and stuff. That said, I scored an iPod for 50% off because it was missing the cable, and I bought refurbished stuff from the Dell outlet. A lot of other places with pretty good luck.
I've purchased accidentally refurbished items before.
You've accidentally refurbished?
No, I bought
or you
a-
accidentally purchased a refurbished
I bought a
item?
wireless USB hub from Target, and I opened the box and it was broken. It didn't say it was refurbished. It was just broken.
I don't know if that actually qualifies.
doesn't count,
for
does it?
Yeah. Refurbished,
No.
they have to identify on the box that it's like
I know.
refurbished or used or repackaged. There's all these different, like, there's scratch and dent, all this other different stuff. Look, I buy used gear all the time.
I've
buy
told
refurbished
people a
gear all
million
the time.
times that they should do that if they want to save a little bit of money. I guess even with Apple products, I mean, if you're already spending like...
Got to keep a really
But on the
close eye on the Apple
website,
stuff.
on the
Yeah.
website, they actually have a whole section of refurbished products.
No,
where
I'm
you
just
can
saying,
go.
I've seen like a 30% savings over a new one on like the closeout or refurbished section, and I've seen like a 2% savings.
Well, I'm just saying, a savings is savings if you're looking
Yeah.
to save some money and don't really care if it's like brand spanking shiny new.
Yeah.
But yeah, just go with someone who's trusted. Go with someone who people have purchased from before if you can. Like check
That
the reviews,
Give
check
you
what
the
people
warranty.
are saying.
In a lot of cases, they'll give you the full new product warranty on a
Yes.
refurbished product. At that point, you're covered. Everything's cool. If they're like, we'll give you a 5-day warranty, pay cash, we'll be back here in the stall at the Super Frito Mart, whatever they call it, the flea market.
The Frito Market?
Frito Mart. Apparently, I'm thinking about Cheetos and Fritos. Hey! We want to congratulate Brian Brushwood and the whole Scam School crew, Eileen, Jordan, and everybody else. They hit 100 episodes of Scam School. You can go to revision3.com/scam school and see the 100th episode mayhem when it comes out this Thursday. If you're not watching Scam School yet, you should check it out and see all the tricks and scams Brian pulls on people every Thursday at revision3.com/scam school. For all of you watching, we live on your questions and Cheetos. So email us, techzilla@revision3.com. Tech help, product reviews, how-tos. You ask us, we'll do it, but we need your email, so don't be shy. Send them into techzilla@revision3.com.
Cheetos, not an official sponsor. Even better, send us in a video question. Think of all the fun you can have and the admiration of all your friends and family when they see your mug on our show. Just keep it to 15 seconds, upload it to YouTube, and send us a link in an email with video question in the subject line. We need to see more of those. We haven't seen any good ones lately.
No.
Come on, guys. You know, they all got scared off by the Pontiac Firebird guy.
Well,
Yeah.
that was an unbelievable car.
Oh.
Yay! As always, you can visit our forums at revision3.com/forum. Thoughts, ideas, comments, mean or evil, nice or fluffy. Share them all with fans of the show.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont.
Until next time, you've been watching Techzilla.
Do another one.
Another one? Four. 5.
That one almost went all the way down my esophagus. That's what she said.
I'm glad somebody with me said it. 7. 8. 9. Yay!
Into usable skills. If only you had usable skills, Veronica. Looks like it's time for another. You tapped the thinger.
Sorry.
3, 2. That's what she said. 3, 2.
Is the camera rolling?
Smaller piece.
Smaller. Never heard that request before.
You missed it. Try to get more of an arc if you can. Oh, that was too high. And too big. That's what she said. Mm. I'm like a trained monkey.
Veronica! This is great. In honor of the Super Bowl.
Oh.
Sorry, bad throw.
Oh. One more time. Oh. Why do I have to make that noise? All right, we're done now. Should I be taking a big risk to shave a little cash? To shave a little cash off that total price? That's what she said.